House Crafters. We are here with round 1, game 1. Dizzy as the Zerg and Abigail also as the Zerg, a classic ZVZ. Okay, immediately I'm seeing that Abigail's worker is in production faster than the Reds team. You really want to be pressing the hatchery and getting that worker in production straight away. The Overlords, though, as it is, coming out at the same time, and this Overlord here will be moving across the map. This is good. This is what we like to see at this stage. You really want to make sure that you are at least somewhat scouting what your opponent is up to, and using an Overlord to do so with as Zerg is a very natural choice. Problem Dizzy, we are seeing a very, very early gas here. Now, gas before hatchery is not something you see very often. It's not unheard of, but this is still, even for that, this is a very, very fast gas, and I'm going to wonder what exactly this player has in mind. There are definitely some nasty cheeses you could do with this sort of build, but given that there's also literally nothing in production for them, you've got to wonder what's going on. Meanwhile, we're getting a very straight up hatch first build from Abigail, straight into gas. I imagine we'll see the pool come down momentarily. The pool coming down for the red side, so they will have their pool open a bit early, which in Zerg v Zerg is a big deal. Often you see Zerg players go pool first, precisely because of this. Get a lot of Lingbane wars, so it's not too unusual to see pool first as opposed to hatch first from the Zerg. As it is, Red's spawning pool is going to come down a little bit earlier, and that's probably going to mean something. I would like to see more regular worker production here. The good thing about Zerg is, of course, you can just put them down. What's this second gas? Like, you don't need to take 2 gas this early unless you've got something really wretched in mind. And no expand either, so is this going to be some sort of one base all in? Potentially. Very, very straight up, meanwhile, over here. This Overlord is about to arrive. It looks like Abigail did eventually send out her Overlord, so... Oh, the Roach. Oh, this is filthy. Oh, this is disgusting. Sub 3-minute Roach Warren. You're up to no good if this is what you're going. Against Terran, this is a not too uncommon strategy where you would just build a bunch of Roach Ravager, or a small amount of Roach Ravager really early in the game, and just hope to use the Corrosive Vials to try and kill their workers as they repair any wall you're damaging. Metabolic boost is coming down as well, so these Zerglings have a part to play too. But this is filthy. This is a disgusting one-base Roach all-in from the side of the Red, and not much to do over here. This Overlord's going to see that there's precisely nothing to worry about. These drones, I'm not sure what they're doing. But this Overlord, if we look at their vision... No, wait, that's not here. It's this, I believe. The problem is that there's 2 things that you haven't seen with this Overlord, okay? You haven't seen there's no expand, and that's something you really want to check, especially in Zerg v Zerg, where you want to see if there's an expansion, because if not, at this stage of the game, there's probably something disgusting going on. As it is, an expansion is finally being taken, but so late, you've got to think something's up. And also, you don't see the Roach Horn, which means you have no idea what's coming. As it is, these larvae are not being turned into roaches, despite the minerals and the gas sort of being there to produce at least a couple. So you've got to wonder what these idle larvae are for. Meanwhile, over at the blue side, again, there's nothing in production. But that might just be because there's no larva. Look at these injects. Look at this. This is good. We like to see the inject. That's fantastic. You got to do those. The Roach Warren coming down at a much more natural time for Abigail. But honestly, this has been quite a straight up build. Apart from some things like a Nippic here and there, some things have come down a bit late. Some things, like the double gas down here before taking second gas here. Yeah, this is really straight up. I could see myself playing a build like this. 100%. Look at that. They've even rallied these drones for the gas. That's quite advanced stuff. I like to see this. They are drastically ahead in workers because presumably going for some kind of all-in. The side of Red has started producing some roaches. These are quite late. At this point, Abigail could build a sizable defense. Ideally, built by building more queens, building some roaches now. The roach one's finished. If they were to come in production as soon as the roach one were done, you could build around a safety roaches. You could be prepared for this attack because they've had a number of Zerglings and the roach one down for a while. This attack is late. This could have come sooner, and if it did, well then it would have been over for Blue. You would have failed to scout anything. That would have been it. As it is from both sides, we're going to see no creep being spread. Creep spread is a really important aspect of Zerg. I do recommend it it's something you pick up early. This queen here has a bunch of energy. Ideally, you want to be doing injects, but this queen could easily just put a creep tumor here, get a queen here. It looks as though that is going to be happening. And just start putting some creep tumors across the map. As it is, Abigail is actually building some roaches now. So they may be able to defend this. I would like to see an evolution chamber go down at some point. Maybe get some upgrades, but maybe you could even wall this off right against Zerg. There's no shame as the Zerg. Oh, that's a lot of roaches in production. They're going to get an army supply lead here. There is no shame in walling off the natural, especially on a map like this where the natural is really easy to wall off. Let's put like an evolution chamber. Put the roach war in here. Is that an evolution chamber? That's a Hydralisk den. So we're going to go Roach Hydra from the looks of things. Also, production stopped for red, which is concerning. Again, if you wanted to all in, this attack is way too late. Infestation? You can't go for an early hive. You haven't got the production, right? This is infestation presumably so that they can put down a hive from this layer and get higher production. But you just haven't got the income. You have 18 workers. You're mining from 2 gases. You can't support those kind of units. As it is, Abigail's army is on the move, and I just don't think there's anything Red can do about this. The supply lead is huge. I would have liked to see these Zerglings come in with the rest of the army, but I don't think it's going to matter. There's so many more roaches. They're just going to take this. As far as I see it, really easy. Just win the game. That being said, the Zerglings. Now, hold on a second. Have I just severely misjudged the situation here? Well, I say that, but yes, so the fight is lost, probably because of the Zerglings and some reinforcements. But we do have a bunch more roaches in production. Because, again, Abigail's been building workers. Abigail has a 3rd now. It's a bit late for a 3rd, but this 2-base stuff, this was good. I like this. I would have liked to have seen the 3rd come down a bit sooner and some creep spread, but otherwise this is fantastic. We've now got Hydralisks in production off the Hydralisk den. See, when you're producing Hydralisks, I think you want a few more workers. I like to start producing Hydralisks when I'm going for Roach Hydra. This is a very straight up a-clickable unit competition. I like to do it once I've got 3 full base saturation, so I have 66 workers. So it's kind of difficult to support Hydras. They are expensive units off of just well, in theory, 3 gas, because I'd like to see 3 of these workers pulled over to this gas, please. But I'd like to see that. And then, at that point, you can actually support Hydras once you've got 6 gases. But with 4, technically 3, really, you just don't have the income for mass Hydra. But however, considering that their opponent has basically no income at all, given they haven't built a worker in the past several minutes, I don't think that's going to matter very much. Again, this is one of the earliest highs I've ever seen, but you just cannot produce that level of technology at this stage of the game. Not when you've got, at most, 2 gases mining. You haven't even got a 3rd, and the units you have built are just sat here at home doing nothing, looking pretty. I do see there are upgrades in production. Well, no, the only upgrades that are in production are tunneling, roach speed, which has been done, and tunneling claws, which means that your roaches can move whilst burrowed, and that's cool and all, and there is no vision. Is there vision? Look at these overlords, like cloaking the units. It's interesting. I don't think you really need to cloak this. This is maybe put some of your overlords like that here in case they want to put down some flyers. Evolution chamber, that's good. Hydralisk upgrades in production, that's good as well. But no, these tunneling claws, it's not going to matter when the army supply is just this much of a discrepancy, because Abigail built more workers than their opponent. I'm a bit sad they stopped at 40. I'm going to be completely honest. I'm a bit upset that these workers are just looking at the gas and not actually, doing anything. That's a symptom of rallying your workers to the gas a bit too early before it's done. If that happens, just have a look at the F1 tab in the corner. You'll be able to see in the bottom left corner, it will tell you how many workers are idle. Tend to that, make sure they're doing something. We don't like to see idle workers, and then you can just put them on something much more productive than just sitting there doing sweet FA. For example, mining the minerals in the 3rd base. Or, with this amount, actually, to be fair, they're spending their money pretty well. But you could definitely put down another hatchery at this stage, honestly. The injects, this is good. You've got to keep your injects up a Zerg so you can spend your money on units, and workers, of course. But you're putting down an Ultralisk den, and you're putting down a Spire, but you do not have the income to support these units. Ultralisks are pretty powerful units. The Spire gives access to some pretty powerful units. I don't particularly want to see mutas being built at this level, because microing mutas is really difficult. You want something nice and A-clickable, like Roach Hydra again, which is eventually what I think... No, just Abigail went for that. It's just complete pure roaches from Dizzy here. There are Broodlords on the Greater Spire, which does require a hive. Broodlords are fantastic. That's a unit you can just A-click across the map. Pro tip, if you're going for Broodlords, the hive and the Greater Spire and the Spire have the same build time. So what you want to do, if you're going to Broodlords, put the Spire down as soon as you start researching the hive, and evolving, I guess, the hive, and then you can get Greater Spire as soon as the hive's done, so they come out a bit faster. As it is, this is literally a 200 supply, nearly 200 supply, so maxed out, so 132 army supply moving out. This is going to win the game for sure. Again, more stuff beats less stuff. One Ultralisk and one Mutalisk aren't going to save you from this. The Hydras do shoot up. But I gotta say, seeing this much supply at this early stage of the tournament in less than 11 minutes, this is very impressive. I don't know if you watch any guides or anything, but I'm very impressed with this. Meanwhile, from Dizzy, I would have liked to see you... If you want to do better than this, just remember to build workers. Your idea with tech, it's good. We like to see this in the game, but you can't support that off of, less than 30 workers. You can't. As it is, the game's going to end here. That one Ultralisk isn't going to matter at all. The Roach Hydra is just overwhelming in size, and the game is going to end swiftly here. I believe so, anyway. I don't think I've severely disrupted the situation this time. The army supply is literally too big. We do see 0 APM. I don't know if this is just sort of disappear or something, but this is GG for sure. What's this Swarm Host doing? No. Launch your locusts, please. At least try and do something. It doesn't really matter. These workers are not sure what to do with their lives, and that is going to be GG. Fantastic 77 from game 1. Thank you very much.